It's going to be a good show. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
Intense. Never gets old.
We hope this intro gets you as pumped as we are.
Absolutely.
What's going on, everybody? Hey,
Welcome back.
your boy's back.
Our boy is back.
Yeah, sorry I wasn't here on Thursday. My daughter had a little minor eye surgery, so I was up taking care of a drugged-up 3-year-old is what I was doing.
A smooth operation, nonetheless.
Dude, honestly, it was a little freaky.
Oh, no.
So, minor eye surgery. I guess her tear duct is clogged. So they go in. It's like a 15, 20-minute deal. My wife and I are sitting there in the waiting room. It's been like 20, 30 minutes, and we're like, all right, she's got to be out by now, whatever, waiting for the anesthesiologist to come in and talk to us, or the doctor, say how everything went. Hour goes by, and nothing. We're just like,
Where's our daughter?
Where's our daughter? And then anesthesiologist walks in. He's like, hey, so is your daughter, has Quincy been sick? Does she have asthma, anything like that? We're just like, no, not that we know of. He's like, well, the second we put her on so I guess they hit her with the mask, right? And then they do the IV after. But he just said that as soon as they put the mask on her, she takes a breath, her lungs just freaked out.
Oh, no.
And reacted to the anesthesia. So then they had to put her on albuterol, I think it's called, which basically helps dilate the lungs so she could breathe because her lungs were just like tightening up to where like her oxygen levels, her heart rate was super low. So we're just like supposed to be some simple operation. It turns into panic mode for the wife and I. But she's fine.
Okay.
She's good.
Jeez.
Anyway.
What a hectic day.
Yeah, I was trying to make it back here for the show because I thought I'd make it back in time. Anyway, thanks for joining us live right now, everybody. That's right, poor baby Mav. No, it was actually Quincy, the 3-year-old.
He's older.
But, hey.
Crazy weekend heading into a crazy
oh my gosh.
Crazy race.
Yeah, we got Josh Mosiman from
yeah.
Motocross Action Magazine. He's called in before. He's going to call in today.
Fellow YZ rider, yeah.
Is he going to... he rides all the bikes.
Yes, he's a common tester, but he was one of the first guys.
Yeah. I'm excited, though. Is he going to spill the beans on Josh and tell us what's been going on with his brother this whole season?
On Michael.
Or Michael, sorry.
Yeah. Hey, if you're willing to ask,
I got questions.
Okay.
I hope he's got answers.
Sounds good. But welcome back, everybody. Shout out to all the regulars and to all new viewers. Hi, Jason's Cryptic Channel. That's a new one.
Jason's Cryptic.
I think we all struggled. I think I was, what? Let me just confirm exactly what I got. 20-something points. I'll just go ahead and spoil. Our average was 28, I think. Amongst all players, the average was 28 points.
I had 33.
I earned 25.
Dude.
33.
So watching it, I'm like, oh, dude, I'm all right. I got Ando in 5th. I'm going to have Craig in 8th.
It's like all salvage.
I didn't pay attention to Craig after, in the last couple minutes because you're just watching that gnarly battle. And then I look at the results. I'm like, what the hell, Tomac?
Oh, well, and I was looking at the time difference, too. I was like, okay, there's no way he passes Tomac, and he has enough of a buffer behind him that he's solid. He's in 8th place. So who
should be mad at is Dean Wilson right now.
Is it Dean's? So, no, Craig passed him straight up.
But Dino went down, and
he
Tomac
tightened the gap,
yeah.
But still, Craig straight up passed him.
Yeah.
Can we pull up recap awards? Can we just jump to that? I think we all know who won. My little Dundee award ceremony, my recap awards go to, one is to Tomac and Craig. They share it, as you'll see.
What are they sharing?
The Killjoy Award. Because that was the only points that I was going to get, and they both spoiled it. But Dark Horse Award, obviously, for Kickstart Kenny coming through. And like you mentioned earlier, I don't think we would have had as entertaining of a night without Justin Barsha chasing him down. The Showman Award going to Justin.
The Killjoy is a 2-for-1 special.
Yeah.
If Justin Barsha is, what's crazy is like that, I don't know, I probably speak for everybody, like my heart rate was going.
Oh, yeah.
Like when Barsha closed the gap, oh yeah. But if Barsha isn't full send in this race, it probably is one of the more boring races that we see during the year.
Just a disappointment because none of us were getting picks right, for sure.
But how cool is it, though, to see Kenny win like that?
Oh, I love it. I hate to say it, but this very well... Unless he does it again this year, this could be one of his last wins in Supercross. I would guess, honestly. But, yeah, it's cool to see, nonetheless.
I think his win, and I don't want to speculate, but it was we had talked about, like, could Kenny win? And everyone's like, well, yeah, absolutely. Like, he could lead laps, right? But it was kind of one of those things where, like, everything has to fall into place. That's kind of what we were thinking.
Yeah.
Rips a hole shot. Mm-hmm. Sexton does what Sexton does. Mm-hmm. And then he's got a gap that he can maintain. And then, but did you think, be honest, did you think Barsha was going to pass him?
Oh, I was waiting for it.
I thought Barsha was going to go full Bam Bam and just punt him.
Yep.
Which would have been
props to Barsha, whether it was he just truly couldn't get there to take him high or, Bam Bam him, or if it just, I appreciated Barsha's racing. He was super.
Could you imagine the lashing and the
if he took out Kenny?
The backlash he would have got if he'd have cleaned him out.
Maybe he knew that. Maybe what if I held him back?
You've got this heroic story of Kenny on a Suzuki, this whole storyline.
That's an interesting
And Barsha just ruins it by T-boning the guy?
Because, without a doubt.
That's got to be in the back of your head.
He would have just gotten booed from that whole stadium.
He would have been the biggest enemy of Supercross of all time.
That's a very good point. I wonder if he was aware of that and was like,
not
what?
Tonight. It's not my night tonight. To do this.
But credit to both of them. Barsha, that's 2 weekends in a row that he was just had podium speed, even winner speed. So he's coming.
Oh, Victoria,
to strike.
Barsha apparently has matured. I'm just saying, you would expect Barsha in that scenario to just be like,
oh yeah,
no F's given. I'm going for the win.
He was bumping elbows with Webb, and he didn't care at all.
I truly believe that if it's anybody but Kenny Roczen leading that race, Barsha
does everything.
If it's Jason Anderson,
he does anything.
Oh, come on,
yeah,
he's doing it
for sure.
Would you guys agree? Am I wrong on that? What's the poll we have?
Will
Kenny win again? Ooh,
this year I could say yes.
This year,
but after this year,
I don't know.
It's hard to know for sure. But
put in the comments though if it's anybody but Ken Roczen leading, if it's a Jason Anderson or one of these guys, does Barsha?
I think you're right.
That's
a very interesting perspective.
All right, results. So yes, Ken Roczen. Got to dig deep here.
Before we gotta.
Do you want to do this bit? Okay.
Tomac lost the red plate this weekend. It's been tight, but we have a new red plate, and that is the number 2. Do you think that that's good for Webb, or like we were discussing before the show, is it pressure? Is it just unwanted pressure? I think Webb is one of the riders that'll handle it, and it'll make him ride better.
Yeah, I think he's all right. I don't know. Like, Tomac's been super cautious. Well, not super cautious. He's won a lot of races. But I do feel like right now with Tomac, with the championship being this tight, with Tomac, we've seen it that when the track is not something that he's gelling with, or like it's sketchy,
he doesn't push.
He's not pushing.
Yeah.
So does a Tomac who's a little behind or doesn't have the red plate ride differently than a Tomac that has the red plate?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's all I want to know. So maybe
we need to fix that. This thing will not.
Maybe giving up the red plate for Tomac will just allow him to ride a little bit freer.
Yeah.
He just didn't look good all night though.
No, he didn't. But like Daytona, he wasn't looking good all day, and then he pulls it through. So it was just interesting. But yeah, I think Tomac is just in a different space now where he's not willing to.
A lot of people think he gets it back after this race.
I think he gets it back. If I had to predict
that he beats, I don't know. But Tomac's been solid though. Like,
we were talking about this though. How about a quiet 4th place finish for Plessinger? He's back in the top 5.
Did they say his name on the broadcast?
I don't think either of these two.
There was so much attention on the lead pack that you would have never known that Plessinger got 4th place unless you were like fantasy. You were looking for it.
Exactly. But should we hop into player stats?
Yeah, let's
do it. Because this wild card right here, I'll just tell you, it was 0.05% of players got this wild card. I'm surprised it was any at all.
Let's see here. The average score was 28 points, lowest of the season. So that was the lowest since round 10 in Detroit last season, which was 24 points.
No perfect scores.
Detroit last year was an Anderson, and everybody crashed their brains
out. It was Armageddon.
That's when Tomac just blew up the series and took the giant lead.
Yep, because 4 or 5 of the top dogs all crashed.
Oh, Levi, you missed it by 1, dude. Try again. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah.
Where's Nick when you need him?
Okay, let's see here.
No perfect scores.
Yep.
Only 5 people even got 4 picks correct, but that's to be expected, honestly. But
nobody got
like
5 picks right.
Nope.
44% got at least 1 pick right. 8% had 2.
Probably Webb, honestly.
Look at that. Less than 1% had Kenny to win. 6% had him on their podium.
So these numbers.
Roczen was the most picked guy in 5th. That's probably because he qualified really good. Barsha, though, let's see here. Only 6.66% had him in 2nd. It's only 4% of players' podiums.
Wait, only that many people up in 2nd even? Jeez.
Yeah, he was the most picked for 5th at 31%.
Half of players had Tomac to win, and he doesn't even finish in the top 5.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I saw a bunch of people with like 35, 36 points. You guys, you got away from this weekend pretty clean, honestly.
What was better for Tomac? Because after his heat race, he went from a whole shot to 4th. And honestly, it's probably good he started where he did. It's probably a better look for Tomac to have started where he did and moved up to 7th or 8th versus
fading back.
Because I honestly feel like probably would have been the same thing.
Or maybe not 8th, but
yeah, with
I don't know. Craig passed him straight up.
That's what I'm saying. With how just cautious he was.
It was Tampa, right? Where he had his off night.
Mm-hmm.
It was just another Tampa. Yeah,
right, he came back and won after Tampa.
Yeah,
so
and it's
not too stressed.
Detroit next weekend, right?
This weekend, this coming up.
Yeah.
Seattle will be the round after that, which we're doing our ticket giveaway for.
So we're giving away to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's next
today.
one.
Okay.
So yeah, you got to comment if you want. If you're going to be in the area for Seattle, I will be there. You comment after this video is posted to YouTube, not during the live show, and comment who your podium is going to be for Seattle, and then do that, and then tell us how many tickets you would need if you can be there. It's just the tickets; it's not including travel, and see if you're one of the lucky ones to get picked.
And they're good tickets. We'll tell you that they're up close and personal.
Yeah, Justin Brayton did pick Barsha for 2nd.
Yeah. Wow.
Dude.
Interesting. What a great call with Justin Brayton. We've had some great callers this year. Can't wait to talk to
I was bummed I missed
Josh.
that one.
Jason's Cryptic Channel with a solid 15 points. So
let's see. Oh, here's some interesting stats here. Tomac has led 93 laps. Mm-hmm. Webb has led 17. And
Roxon has now led more than Webb.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that crazy?
Are you serious? Man, did you know that Adam Cianciarulo got 6th?
I didn't. Yeah, he was fading kind of as expected. I was thinking he was going to fall back to the wild card, so a 6th place finish. Props to him.
It's kind of crazy that Roxon, that was Barsha's first podium.
This year?
Yeah. Pretty interesting. The Hill brothers did pretty good. I don't know.
It was just a wild night. Before we get too far past, how about, should we give Bubba a shout out? Should we get into the
Bubba
recap
Polly?
clip? Should we show his?
Well, they didn't show the crash.
Oh, that it wasn't the tip over on bike landed on whoever.
No. The Bubba Polly, they didn't show the crash.
I was watching in the middle of a desert from a motorhome, so our broadcast was very skippy.
I guess
was all over
Bubba
the
Polly,
place.
if you guys didn't know. So we have an update that he posted, and it says Bubba had a 7-hour surgery to reattach his thumb, but were unable to save the tendon. Spent the next few days in the trauma ICU. Bubba said it's crazy how a small crash can go wrong in the blink of an eye.
Yep.
So it sounds like the crash wasn't that serious. It was more hey, my thumb is ripped off.
It doesn't have to be. I mean,
chain and sprockets, dude.
Yeah, chain and sprockets
could have been his
very,
bike, somebody
very
else's.
dangerous.
Well, that's how Jesse Nelson lost his thumb.
Yeah.
When he was a little kid, right?
It's horrible.
Ugh. Okay, well, let's go over a couple more things because we're going to have Josh Mosiman calling in here in just a minute, and then we'll get to our highlights for them. And we got some good memes, dude.
I've been blocked from the memes. I'm supposed to be surprised about it, so I'm very excited.
Oh, you haven't seen them yet? I did spoil one for you.
I'm very excited.
Okay, all right, so Webb's your new points leader.
Yes, sir.
Where's
1 point though? That's the difference. That's why I'm fairly confident. Tomac
How many
takes
points
it back
back is Sexton
weekend.
now?
He is. It's got to be over 10 from the leader, right?
He only finished 2 spots back from Tomac. That's the crazy part.
But he definitely didn't make up any. He's at least 10 points down.
But it's not as bad as I thought it was.
13 points down from the leader, which is Webb now.
With 8 races to go?
Yeah. So Sexton,
it could have been a lot worse. But dude,
he's getting into dangerous territory.
That crash, he got lucky just to get up and walk away and not have a bench.
He has yet to win a normal main event. So.
Oh, that's right. The Triple Crown's been his only overall, huh?
Yeah. So he's.
And how many laps did it say on here that he's led? He has led 67 laps.
That's crazy. Even Anderson with 33. And I feel like I'm lucky to see Anderson in the top 5 nowadays.
Those are all for, I think, Triple Crown laps, too.
Yeah. Sheesh.
So weird. Been a good, weird season.
Yeah. No, it's
Hopefully
entertaining,
Sexton
no doubt.
holds it together. I want to see Sexton click off a few wins.
Oh,
I want to see him tighten up his gap.
We didn't, with you gone last week, who did you have to win?
Tomac.
Yeah, Tomac. Guess what?
Yeah.
I took the bait again. I took the bait and then put Sexton up top. And then I almost just shut the TV off when he crashed. I was like, I'm done. I'm over
When
it.
I saw Sexton in second, I was just like, I don't even care. I already know what's going to happen. And then
Trust
you hear
me, I know too. When you hear the crowd, that's the thing. They weren't on him when it happened.
No.
But you hear the crowd go crazy, and I just knew that. I was like,
what's funny is I was sitting there with my wife, and you hear the crowd, and I immediately said Sexton
Sexton's down.
crashed.
Yep, I said the exact same
And then
thing.
they cut to Kenny. I'm like, yep, he crashed.
Oh my gosh.
And what's crazy, it was like kind of similar to what he did. I guess maybe
No,
not the
it was
same.
a little different. It was. Dude, with how many crashes he's had, he is so lucky to still be lining up every single weekend.
Tim Geiser of Supercross.
Yeah, he's so lucky to still be. I mean, it seemed, we'll see in our recap clips, it seems like he was somewhat hobbling, which I don't blame him. It wasn't a soft fall, but with how many times he's gone down, it's only a matter of time before it's something serious. Like Carmichael even says that he had an almost identical crash to break his collarbone. So it's just not even for championship's sake. He's just got to stay healthy and stay off the ground.
Krista just said, OMG, Kobe. Look, Robbie K took the bait.
Oh, Krista says OMG because I took. Yeah, I know. And we got off the phone with Justin Brayton, and he's been battling this same thing. I was like, okay, you and me, brother, we're never doing it again. I'm never putting Sexton up top unless.
It's to a point where like the riders, I think they're talking about that, where when Sexton qualifies by a second faster, I don't think anybody cares at this point anymore. They're just like,
you can't. This is not the first time. This is like the fifth or sixth time.
Mackenzie Tyler took the bait too.
We've got Josh on the line.
Oh my gosh! Well, look, let's get another opinion from a guy who has raced at the highest level.
Yeah,
his brother is also racing on 250 factory team. Michael Mosiman, Josh Mosiman from Motocross Action Magazine. How are you doing, good sir?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a back and forth to get you on here, but we've got it done.
Yep. No, I appreciate it. This is the second time on the show, so very thankful to be here. Thank you guys for having me on. Kobe, this is the first time meeting virtually, but
good to meet you, man. Good to see you.
Good to meet you as well. Yeah, crazy weekend. So perfect time to jump in on this.
Yes, sir.
He just drove across the country and got home last night. Like drove from Florida.
Well, props. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Get a little music in the background. You guys hearing that or no?
I don't.
I'm not hearing anything.
We're not getting anything. We might. Yeah,
Is
I
my
think we're
phone
good.
playing?
Is it still coming through?
Oh, got it.
Oh, it's Chase's. That's our intro song.
No, it was something different.
Chase's Spotify is just going
Tayo,
off. Sorry about that.
Cruz.
Okay, I'm glad I mentioned that.
Thanks
because
for
you guys
bringing that
weren't
up.
Hearing it, and I was hearing it.
You saved us from a copyright claim.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Josh. Lots to talk about here, other than me failing at my job right now. Lots to talk about here. You caught the races, probably driving home, or no? Were you driving when you were watching the races?
Yeah, we were driving. We pulled over for the main, so that was good and got to see it all. But
heck yeah.
And what an awesome weekend. Like as a Supercross fan, and for me, especially as a media journalist, guy that's, diving into interviews and covering what's going on, who better to win the race than Ken Roczen? I mean, that is just so good for the sport. So it was an awesome weekend.
So can we, speaking of that and Roczen, so Chase had an interesting take with Barcia in second. I want to know your take first. Were you expecting Barcia to pass him? But then Chase brought it up. Maybe in the back of Barcia's mind, he didn't want to pass him, or at least bam him, because he was afraid of what the crowd how they would react to it. With Roczen, our hero, leading. Do you think that was in the back of Barcia's brain at all?
I think that was maybe in the back of his brain. I listened to you guys just for the first 15 minutes here, and I was hearing you guys talk about it. I think maybe that played into it, but to be honest, what I think is that Ken Roczen held just enough of a gap that Barcia didn't really have that opportunity, because I've raced against Justin Barcia. I know him off the track, and we all know that when he's on the track, when the helmet's on, he's a different person. He's really nice off the track, but he's very different on the track. And so I don't think if the door was open that Justin would have been able to stop himself from walking through that door, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So I watched the race, and then I watched the highlights again this morning, and just tried to, study up before I come and talk with you guys about the show and about the race. And I don't think he got close enough to actually make it. And I think a big reason for that is because of how rutted the track was. You're landing on jumps with bumps in them. There's ruts. it's a lot harder to shoot across the track and hit somebody or block past somebody when there's that many ruts.
Copy.
For sure.
But okay, so, did you think Ken Roczen could win a race? Like, did you honestly think that Kenny will win on Suzuki this year?
Okay, so I did, and I'm really, really glad that he pulled it out, because I titled we do a video every week on the Motocross Action YouTube channel. It's called This Week in MXA, and before Anaheim won, I said Ken Roczen will win a race this year, and that was the title of the video, and it's a pretty steep title, but I believed it. And I explained in that video why I thought he would be able to win. And then I started to get a little nervous after we were, 8 races into the season and he hadn't won. So I'm really glad that worked out. But yeah, I did think that he could win. But obviously, like everybody, you start doubting when he's having rougher races and finishing, closer to 10th than first,
In that video, sorry, I haven't seen it, but were there any like strings attached? Did you think that the stars sort of would have to align for him to do it? Or do you think were you expecting it to just be him, the fastest guy on the track, not have Sexton do what he did, Tomac off night, you know what I mean, with a little bit of the stars aligning? Do you think when at the beginning of the season, were you expecting it to just be flat out Roczen's the fastest guy and would get the win?
That's a great question, Kobe. So I didn't think that. I definitely didn't think that he'd be walking away from the field. I don't think that he'll, win a ton more races this year. But I thought the reason for my explanation was basically he's coming in under the radar. He's on the radar, but under the radar, he's not expected to win. Ken Roczen's always been a guy who says, look at me, I'm working so hard. I train so hard. I have all these accomplishments. I can win. This is why. And he kind of uses that to build up his confidence and to go racing, and it's worked for him. But also, being on HRC Honda, if you complain about the bike, it's kind of hard because you have the best bike in the sport or a top level factory 450 machine, where now he has a built-in disclaimer, kind of like me when I go racing. When I go racing, it's like, hey, you're a media guy and you just raced. 20th is like first, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's a built-in disclaimer for me anytime I race nowadays, because I'm not a full-time racer anymore. Or it's a built-in disclaimer for him that he's on a Suzuki. It hasn't been developed. It hasn't been proven to win since, 2016 when he won on it last. And then also that he started the season so late into the off season, only rode it for a couple of weeks. So it's like the pressure is off. If he is top 10, that's impressive. If he's top 5, that's impressive. If he's podium, that's impressive. So I think the pressure being off really kind of lightens the load and makes it possible for him to win.
Do you think Suzuki is going to come out with a new bike next year with Kenny as the flagship rider? Have you heard rumors?
I've heard rumors that they're updating bikes, but those rumors have been around for like 10 years. So
Fair enough.
Hopefully, for me in the position that I'm in and what I've heard, it's more likely that they'll update bikes. In my opinion, I think it's more likely they'll update bikes next year and the year after than ever before.
Sure.
But obviously, I can't put any money on it. So
okay, interesting. Okay, let's talk about Eli Tomac. 7th place, gets passed late by Craig. Do you just call this? I feel like this track, other than Barsha, because let's be honest here, if Barsha is not willing to just kind of let it all out, probably a pretty boring race. Right? Because Webb, I don't think even had anything for Kenny at that point. I kind of feel like you had to take what the start gave you in that main event. And when Tomac rolled around the whole shot line in like 12th, he's probably thinking, dude, there's no podium tonight. If I can get up to the top 5 because dudes are making mistakes, sweet. But I kind of feel like everybody was like, just stay off the deck except for Chase Sexton. Do you kind of feel that was Tomac's ride? Was just like, dude, just stay up, don't make the big mistake? Or I don't know. What do you think?
Honestly, from my opinion, I think Eli Tomac, got that start and figured, hey, I'm going to take it easy these first couple laps, let the flow come to me, and then start picking these guys off. And I'm sure with how rough of the track is and how good I've been doing, I'll walk past a few of these guys and get a good finish. I'm sure that's what he was thinking at the beginning of the race. And then, the track just got worse and worse and worse. And he probably didn't, there was probably something going on to where he didn't feel very comfortable. And then he wrote it in, and I'm sure he expected himself to keep moving forward, but it didn't come to him as easily as it normally does. And To be honest, definitely don't have the answers on what exactly happened with Tomac, but I know as a fan, it's awesome for me to see the points get close again, and Tomac or Webb get the red plate and Tomac be 1 point back. I mean, I was pretty happy with his finish, just because it makes it so much more exciting to watch next weekend.
Definitely.
Yeah. And honestly, I think nobody needs to be worried about Tomac. He did this when he at
Tampa.
Has a weirdo race. What do you do? Come back and wins the next weekend. Mm-hmm. And we're going to Detroit, where he's won multiple races there. So I'm not worried about it. But I'm with you. I'm glad to see this points race. I really hope Sexton can figure this out. Because I want to see a 3-man battle to the end. But you have, I don't think you can deny at this point. I know Phil Nicoletti talked about this. When Sexton's up front, you can't tell me at this point that he's not thinking, don't crash again. I mean, how many races in a row is this?
It's every single weekend, it seems like. But I almost have more confidence in Sexton getting a normal weekend's main event win when he doesn't qualify first. I think he almost needs to slow it down a little bit and ride smoother, and ultimately that would result in a better result.
I don't know. Yeah. What's your thought process on Sexton right now?
That's a tough one. I really like Chase Sexton. I think part of it is the bike, and part of it is him. Hondas in general have a twitchy feel in the front end. Motocross action, we test bikes and we test products, we write articles about bikes, and we're open and honest about how they work on the track and how, our opinion of them. And the Honda in general is already a twitchy bike. Obviously he's made his own mistakes a majority of the time, but that Oakland crash where he just overjumped or just slightly after the finish line and then ended up doing a full 180, that doesn't really make sense to me. So that was pretty hard to see. And I know that Lars has mentioned that, Chase is so fast that we have to, get better at this bike and make it better for him so that he doesn't keep crashing. So I think part of it's the bike. And then obviously he's riding with that extra, 100 pounds that was on Ken Roxon's shoulder last year. Maybe it's back on Chase Sexton now. And he's like, just the idea of go out there and don't crash. It's kind of like when you're driving and, or when you're riding, really, we're all riders here. When you're riding and you say, don't hit the rock, you're looking at the rock and you hit the rock. And
yep.
I think obviously that's happening with Chase Sexton. It's tough to see. I know he's going to get it figured out eventually, but I was really also proud of the Supercross crew, for the TV crew, for putting those stats up there this weekend, comparing his career to Eli Tomac's career. Tomac was similar at the beginning, and Chase has had, a lot more laps led, more races won. So it was pretty impressive to see that. I was happy to see that. And maybe it takes a little bit of pressure off Chase Sexton. Like, hey, you're not the only guy who's had a tough go at the 450 class.
And it's early. It's still very early. And with rumors of him switching to maybe KTM or just another manufacturer period, I think that could probably help him if it truly is the bike. But like obviously, you mentioned, go ahead.
I just want to clarify. I think Honda's obviously makes a great bike, and so it's not only the bike. That bike is great, and there's lots of other riders could do it and wouldn't crash on it. But I think that could be part of it, and just with how hard these guys are pushing, they have to. At the end of the day, it's all on Chase Sexton, because he's the one testing it, he's the one riding it, he's the one who knows that it has these tendencies, so he's got to manage that. So it's definitely, you can't blame the bike or the team, but yeah, I do want to like kind of separate it that it's on him, really. It's
for sure. Yeah, and his crash on Saturday, if you analyze it, kind of looking at it a few times, it's more like, I think Chase is kind of just bad line choice, really. Like, that rut was so deep, and he tried to rail it so hard. I think he was trying to get around Kenny in that spot. It looks like he drug his foot peg, and it was the rut that caused it. And I'm just thinking, maybe if you're a little bit more patient, different line choice. And I feel like Chase, a few times this year, his line choice, well, I don't know. I don't blame the bike for what he just did whatsoever.
Yeah, for sure. Let's transition into maybe 250s a little bit. And I don't mean any offense to this. Your brother's obviously an incredible rider. I want a couple things, because Michael, he kind of seems to be, he's almost in Sexton's shoes a little bit, where he's got to clean up some mistakes here and there. But I want to know, as a rider, racer, your perspective, is there any weekend when you're watching these races and are you thinking, oh, I could have had these guys, I could have been up there? Is that ever running through your brain?
It's especially with my brother. If he crashes, I'm like, man, I could have done that. I could have just not crashed right there or not hit that tough block or whatever. But as far as the other guys, it doesn't cross my mind too much. Are you asking like me personally looking at watching myself, or are you asking about my brother?
I'm asking about you personally. Do you ever have weekends where you're like, oh, I could be there in the top 5. I could be there even on a podium.
Let's not get too. Let's say make the main event.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you ever look at some of those guys like?
Yeah. I was never a top guy, but I made I did one season of Supercross, made 2 main events, got close a couple times. I got close at the Las Vegas East-West shootout, which would have been me and my brother on the track at the same time because he was 250 East, I was 250 West, and I was 1 spot out, 5th in the LCQ. But but I raced outdoors more. I was better at outdoors.
Definitely.
I did a couple outdoors last year, and I did four races on 4 different brands, and I'm going to do the same thing again this summer. And so that makes it more exciting, and it's also kind of go back to our first topic. It is kind of like a built-in excuse for me because I'm racing, I'm going to race Paula on a Yamaha, Hangtown on a Honda, and then Thunder Valley on a Cowie. It's like, well, you're on a different bike. You can't expect to do amazing.
Definitely.
But, other than that, no, I'm pretty happy with the job I have, and then they let me race as much as I want. So I'm humbled very quickly when I show up at the races and,
I'm sure.
And try to ride with these guys.
The only reason I ask that is just if there's a season to do it with so many, especially in the 250 class, and so many injuries, we see a lot of the privateers getting some spectacular finishes. So if there's a year to do it, I think it would be this year. But
yeah, totally.
No, it's good to hear. You got to be absolutely. I'm sure it's very, very humbling to line up against the guy who's finishing 20th at those main events.
All right, totally. Josh. Wait, couple more. Hey, a viewer had a good question for you, and it was something about Mount Rushmore. Is Tomac on Mount Rushmore?
Oh, man.
For motocross and supercross now?
Yeah, that question's tough. I think you kind of have to put him up there though. Yeah, especially with the year he had last year, Supercross, outdoors, and Chase Sexton did not make it easy for him outdoors. So, and then Motocross of Nations, all of it. I think you have to put him up there.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Pretty impressive. All right. Well, we're going into Detroit. This is a track where Tomac has won multiple races on. If you're doing fantasy right now, does Tomac need to bounce back and take? Well, it's kind of weird because we were just looking at the stats. I don't know if you've heard this or not, or you heard that on the show, how Tomac has led, like Ken Roxon's led more laps than Cooper Webb. And Webb has a red plate. Tomac's led 93 to Webb's 17. So it's hard to say that like the momentum is in Webb's favor because it's not like he's going out and winning all these races. It's kind of different. I don't know. What do you think on that? You think Tomac's stressed at all, or he's like, yeah, it's 1 point gap. Let's just go racing.
Well, the first thought that comes to mind is Cooper's doing the Dungy technique. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where he doesn't, you don't have to lead a ton of laps, but he's got the most points. So I think that part's interesting and cool. I don't think Tomac's too worried. Obviously, it's only 1 point, so whoever wins, gets the red plate next weekend. But I don't think he's too worried, and I do think we got to work. The other riders should be worried because he will come back strong, and that sometimes that 8th place is what he needs to reset and fire him up for the next weekend.
Yeah, I will just say this though. I think we're at a stage in this championship where Tomac can no longer get 8th place because you just don't feel very comfortable. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, I think we're past that stage, and it's at this point forward, it's like, no, like if you're off the podium from here on out, Webb's going to podium you to death and probably win this championship.
Yeah. No, I do agree with that. It's the 8ths are, they're done with. He can't have that if you want to be in this championship for Chase or for Cooper or for Eli now.
Okay. Well, hey, for the viewers that don't know this, and I didn't even know this till Josh, you and I were talking not too long ago. You guys have a deal worked out with Rocky Mountain.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
We have a really good deal worked out with Rocky Mountain right now, and I want to do a better job of explaining that. What you guys here are going to, hear about it now, but basically, Motocross Action, we've been around for 50 years. This is our 50th year of doing the magazine, and people. with the magazine, people sometimes say, well, I don't read magazines anymore. Well, we're also growing our YouTube channel, our social media channels, and our website as well. And with that, to subscribe to the magazine, you get 12 months of the issue, once a month, issue shipped to your front door. It's $24.99. Now we give you a free Rocky Mountain ATV MC gift card for $25. So I'm saying you're making money on the deal. You get that extra penny, $25 to shop with you guys online through your, large selection of parts and gear and accessories. So it's really a no-brainer to get subscribed to the magazine. And I know a lot of people follow online, but to add in that print edition where you're getting to hold it in your hands is pretty cool. And it's really a no-brainer. It's a good partnership.
It's a free membership. There's nothing to lose.
It is a no-brainer. You're making money.
This is not a pyramid scheme, folks. There is nothing to lose with this. I love it.
Nothing to lose. So we got to do a better job of explaining that. But we do have a large base and a loyal following of people that subscribe to the magazine every year. But I think for maybe the younger crowd that isn't already subscribed, having an offer like that really makes it that much easier.
As far as the what for people who don't know, what kind of content can they expect from you guys? Just bike reviews, or is it mostly parts? What are they getting out of it?
Josh is out here slaying the vlogs, just doing it in the back of his van, always motoing. I like that.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So I mean, with motocross action, 50 years we've been around, and we kind of call it the Consumer Reports of motocross. We do our best to test every single motorcycle, motocross specific, especially 2-stroke, 4-stroke. And then we'll have full in-depth articles about the pros and cons of each bike, what you should watch out for if you buy it, what you can do to your bike to make it better, later down the road. And then we're testing parts all throughout the year. How do we make the Honda less twitchy? How do we, make the Yamaha better with the all new chassis and all new engine that it has? So, and then on top of that, we're throwing in lots of cool features where we're out racing different events. We say that we race test our bikes, and that's true. We literally have like 30 bikes in Jody's garage, and like every weekend, about 12 of them are being raced.
Wow.
And then this year I'll be racing a couple nationals as well. And Chase, like you mentioned, that vlog series, it's half vlog, half news, half, we kind of just throw a little bit of everything in there. But this week in MXA, once a week on Wednesdays, we're covering what's happened at the races. And then when I'm racing or when some of our test riders are racing, we're covering what they're up to. One of our test riders, Josh Fout, he's just over 30. I think he's 32 now. He got third place in the Ironman class at the Glen Helen 6-hour endurance race this weekend. So he raced 6 hours straight on our gas 450 test bike. And that's, the knowledge that we gain from our guys endurance testing these motorcycles goes into the magazine, and that's what you get out of there.
Well, one of these days, you and I are going to be at the track the same day. I just want to be in one of these so we can plug the whole Rocky Mountain thing.
Heck yeah.
Hey, one more question. Somebody, we did a poll, and I was like, that's a good question. They obviously can't announce it yet, but is Chase Sexton, if he is, say, 98% sure that he is going to Red Bull KTM next year, if Webb wins this title, do we have a 3-man Red Bull KTM team, or do we see Webb want to go somewhere else to not have to deal with that scenario? What are your thoughts?
It's a tough situation. I personally, big fan. I've raced Cooper Webb my whole life, and so I'm a huge fan of him. The same look that he has on the starting line now that people have talked about, he had that when he was 10 years old and they were racing at Lake Whitney and Oak Hill at Spring Nationals. And but big fans of him, big fan of Chase Sexton as well. He was just a little bit younger than me. He raced my brother growing up, but big fans of both of them. It would be hard to see them both on the same tent. That would definitely be hard to see, but there's a lot of dynamics that go into it. When KTM was probably, I honestly don't know if it's 100% for sure where either rider goes, but it would be hard to see them under the same tent. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Do you want my take?
Sure.
If Webb wins this title, I don't think he cares that Sexton comes over to Red Bull KTM because he's still going to be the top dog.
The top guy.
I just don't think Webb wants to be there if Sexton comes in as the top dog. If Sexton were to win this title and he's challenging Tomac for outdoors, Webb's going to know, I'm not the guy. But if Webb can win this title, he's looking at Sexton thinking,
what you got?
I'm the top dog. You can come over here, but you still got to go through me. So I don't think it changes Webb too much if he wins this title.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but Webb knows that he's his main competitor. So that still makes it hard. You're going to train with your main competitor, or trade bike information with your main competitor. It'd be tough. And it's been a while, I think, since we've seen that in our sport where two champions are on the same, top level championship contenders on the same team. So
fair enough. All right. Well, hey, look, man, we appreciate you. Just drove across the country. You got in last night. You took the time to call into our show.
PH777 says Mosiman has the dream job. I mean, driving across the country, I'm sure you still feel that way.
It's pretty close.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate this job and feel very thankful and blessed to be able to ride motorcycles and
absolutely
work around them. And like any job, it is still a job, and there's still parts where it's difficult, late nights, early mornings, or deadlines or this or that. But at the end of the day, I definitely have no room to complain to anybody.
Love to hear it.
Well, look, everybody that's watching this show right now, please go to motocrossactionmagazine.com. Like you were saying, you've got the subscription. You get a free Rocky Mountain gift card that literally pays for the subscription. It is a win-win situation.
Win-win-win.
Win-win.
All the way around.
You're just winning. You're winning. You're winning everywhere.
It's really a no-brainer.
Yep.
It's really a no-brainer. And you're supporting us so we can keep going to the races and covering what's going on, the news of the races, but also testing the motorcycles and giving you guys the ins and outs of each bike.
Hey, when you get something figured out about this Yamaha here, about some a little bit more stable feeling up front, you let me know too.
Sounds good. I know they're working on 23.5 offset triple clamps. A couple different companies are working on that, and that's what really helped out the Honda 450.
Yep. I had the ride engineering on my Honda, and it felt fine after that.
Honestly, I think that's going to be a huge game changer for the Yamaha YZ450F. But that bike is incredible. Another shameless plug. We just released our 450 shootout video today. It took a while because that Yamaha took so long to get it, and we also don't skimp on the testing process of racing it and really learning the ins and outs of it. So if you guys are free after watching the show, check it out, motocrossactionmag.com. On YouTube, our 450 shootout video. So good stuff.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Well, hey, man, we appreciate your time and what you do. Thank you so much. And that's all. You're good.
It. No, it's good to meet you, Josh.
Yes.
Excited to see more content from exactly those shootouts. I'm sure every single one of us in here right now loves to watch those. So definitely going to be checking that out after the show. But thanks for your time. And hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, brother, man. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate it. This went quick. It went too fast. I really appreciate you guys having me. It was fun.
Well, we'll get you on there for another Monday recap if you want, dude. Yep. Hey, sometimes finding callers can be tough.
I appreciate it. Just let me know.
Heck yeah.
All right, sounds good, man. We'll
Thanks,
talk
Josh.
soon.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Boom.
Yeah, maybe we make it a consistent thing with Josh.
Such a good dude.
Such a good dude.
No doubt.
All right. Okay, we got to get into it here. Highlights?
I can't skimp on that deal though, because I'm going to be going and getting myself involved with that subscription. That really is just a win-win-win all the way around.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free.
I mean, I work here and I want that gift card.
Exactly.
Okay. Highlights here.
We haven't even
Let's get into it real quick here.
Recap clips. But
first one, Martin's bike gets stuck
early
on
in the
Kessler.
night.
If you're Luke
situation
Kessler, you are very happy he's on a Yamaha because his header comes out the opposite side that it normally does.
Would have been quite the scar. Holy cow.
Yeah, just stuck on top of him. I just have nightmares about somebody's header doing what a Colt Nichols.
Oh, I've got a couple scars from header pipes.
I burnt my face on one. Remember I had a hole in my beard for over a year?
I wasn't around, but I have seen the evidence of that.
Okay, Barsha, hey, if there's one thing good about Barsha winning heats and mains, he's making whips great
filthy.
again.
With ruts like that, too.
That's just I dream of doing that.
Yeah, no kidding. Barsha, without a doubt, has the style.
Does Deegan need to chill out?
Oh, my goodness. Well,
I
would say yes. He ended up going down later.
Watch, he almost jumps on his teammate.
Oh, my goodness.
Play that again, Levi.
These guys, they got to switch something up. It is so hard to tell the Star Yamaha guys apart. With their numbers are this similar.
Oh my gosh.
Like their tires touched for sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Speaking of, kind of going back to my rant a few weeks ago, what's up with the 2-minute commercial on Hayden Deegan?
Oh, I must have missed it. Again,
Dude,
I was in
when they were doing the Red Cross, when they stopped that heat race and they went to commercial break.
Oh, with the red flag?
It was like a full minute and a half, just 2 minutes of a full-blown Deegan commercial.
They're just
I don't know.
And they're just like a teenage girl. They're just doing the opposite of what you're telling them.
What did he say?
Yeah. Let's
As
see
a parent.
How about this right here with Adam Cianciarulo opening lap in the 450s?
Oh my gosh.
Just scaring me, almost thinking he's going to blow out
Webb
both his
almost
ACLs.
did the same thing.
Oh, did we start it too late? Go back, Levi.
It's just right at the
it's
beginning.
right at the beginning. I just see him do things like that, and I'm like, don't do the ACLs again.
Oh my gosh.
We had the Sexton crash, which we talked about.
Do you think it was his foot peg? Do you think his rut is just that deep and that?
I think,
or do you think it hit? They were speculating he may have even hit neutral.
I think it could have been that. I think he came in, drug his foot peg, and it just stopped his motorcycle a little bit.
Killed all momentum.
And then he got to the top, and just right there, I mean, you can see all that dirt coming off his peg. So yeah, he could have gone to neutral.
Yeah,
but again, is that a line choice
scenario,
mistake?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, can you fault him for just taking the main
No,
line?
I
guess
mean,
so.
you're using that rut to bank off of to do that. But at the same time, like, it is a...
Well, and he's that close to Kenny. He's not going to follow the same line.
Yeah.
So
I don't
that's
know.
going through his brain.
Maybe it's not really line choice, just, I don't know, just a freak deal.
Yeah.
But
I do got to agree with I guess what we ultimately all decide on. It can't all be the bike though. It's up to Sexton.
No, like when Josh was talking about that crash he had where he went down after the start or did a full 180, like that's nothing to do with the bike.
Definitely not.
A lot. Okay. Too much. Thank you. Yes.
And
dude, I am not taking anything away. I'm just like, chill out a little bit.
Share the love. Do it for some of the people we don't hear about as
Yeah.
much. When was the last time you saw a big old segment on AP or something like that?
Right? Okay, and then last but not least, did you see Kenny almost throw it away on the last lap?
There was a couple times.
Like just
at this point, this is the last lap. I swear on with 3 to go that he had a couple of those moments.
Right there, just got super squirrely. Almost threw it away.
Oh, shutting down.
Your computer.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm just along for the ride now. I'm just along for the ride. No chat for me.
Well, those are the highlights. There we go. All right, so we gotta do. Let's throw up some memes real quick, Levi. We got some really good memes.
Oh
this
goodness,
week.
I've been waiting. I've been in the dark. Let's see this.
Let's see some of these, Levi. On you. We were gonna have Josh pick a favorite.
Yeah.
But we were getting long on that, so we didn't want to.
We got to confirm that we're able to do that even. Every 250A rider going through the whoops at Indy. I think this was every rider, period. Yeah.
Okay, what else?
Gnarly stuff. Shout out Last of Us, I guess.
Kenny on Suzuki.
Hey, those are both good problems to have, right?
Exactly. What else we got here?
Exactly.
Gosh,
that's
dang
great.
It. 8th place, and he didn't even
Relatable.
crash. When was the last time he just rode around in 8th or 7th? Indy.
We have to have one of these. Like you said, Detroit last year was the Indy of this year. Yeah. Where it was, I think that's when Sexton and Webb came together. Jason took himself out. It was that weekend, right?
Yeah, Sexton jumped on, or no, Webb jumped on Sexton.
Either way, they both went down. Nope. Anderson went down. Muscan went down.
Everybody died.
I think they all died.
No.
And Tomac's just going.
Remember, Webb did that triple in and was like, thought he was in the wrong or different spot on the track. And then Sexton.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Tomac just rode around while everyone grenaded behind him.
What's going on?
All right, what else we got here?
Fair enough. That's not just Indy. This is every single weekend.
Is that you, dog? What else we got?
That was me picking Sexton.
What are you doing?
And I had 2 minutes left to pick. I got done racing myself, and then I go, fantasy. And I just checked out qualifying to see where it was, and I took the bait. Sexton top qualifying. 2 minutes to go. I put him up top.
What else we got?
Ready to get hurt again. That's just a meme in itself.
That's not even a meme. It's
Suzuki
just
could not be happier. Like, Roxon just was putting out as so many opportunities for photos, this, that. He was just making...
I do feel like, and this, I don't know how you guys feel, like, so after he gets on the podium, and first thing he does, dude, throws up the Kickstarter. And I'm like...
Ooh, it was a little cringy.
I get why you're doing it.
It was a little
but
cringy.
At the same time, it's like you're telling people, like, I told you this old, outdated bike could win a race. It's almost like is it hurting? Did it hurt the brand a little bit? Like, because if you're a spectator, you're like, why is Kenny holding up a Kickstarter?
Well, sure.
I mean, I don't know.
No, I think that's what they wanted out of him. But for me, he could be on yellow, he could be on green, red, blue, and I still would have been just as surprised, just as pumped to see him get first, regardless of what bike he was on.
Suzuki just added.
I almost wanted Kenny to take it all for himself and not make it all about the Kickstart, not make it all about the Suzuki. I wanted him to just be like, look, no, I can still do this. That's my take on it.
Okay.
I did.
But when was the last time? Because they're not a factory team.
I would say compared to most.
So do you compare this to like Justin Brayton at Daytona, like that level of team winning a Supercross main event?
That's a good comparison.
Is that a good comparison?
I think so. Like I'm sure they have no shortage of parts, but I think that's a fair comparison. But again, I do just kind of wish Kenny would have taken more of the credit for himself. I mean, I think I did like Barsha's battery comment. That was funny. That was good.
To flex on Kenny.
Hold up a battery.
Well, it was pretty good.
That was
I didn't mind Barsha.
Barsha got some points from me this week.
And it was cool to see kind of Barsha and them. Like, they definitely were stoked for each other.
Oh, I meant to grab a screen grab of it. All dads on the podium with their kids and their wives. That was
took
awesome.
A picture?
Yeah, no, they showed that in the highlights at the end.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Their families were up on the podium. It was really, really cool to see.
Okay.
Well, very well could have even been the first all-dad podium. I think Christian made that comment. I feel like we've had it once before, but if it was, super cool to see. Anyway.
Yeah, it's way cool. I'm stoked for it. I think the
I
sport
can pretend
is
to
healthy.
be working back here.
In a good place. We got to do weekly prizes. We haven't done those yet. So, Levi, throw those up on the screen, and we'll tell you what's up for grabs this week in Detroit.
Knee braces.
Mobius.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need a. Mine are falling apart. I need a.
The ones I hooked you up with?
They did.
I mean, they've got a lot of hours on
They do. And
Okay.
I've probably put more than they had before they got to me now.
All right, so
Formula CC in second place. These are great.
The
Fox
Formula's your
MX
favorite
gear
helmet.
set. Yeah, I absolutely love that helmet. Speaking of helmets, O'Neill coming with their Series 10 helmet in fourth. Bridgestone. So we took away their fourth place spot. Bridgestone got moved to fifth. But regardless, they're still there with a set of Battlecross tires, Motul, a Cherubies, LS2, and some Mega goggles.
Yes.
Chase goggles, huh? And some lock-on grips and clutch levers from Torque One.
I like it. And then here's the grand prizes. Look, we got 3 dirt bikes that are up for grabs.
Never forget.
Yes, and remember, too, even if you join the series today, you still can win a weekly prize.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And that wasn't it. I forgot to mention, there's 90 gift cards.
90 gift
from
cards.
Rocky Mountain.
Yes.
We're giving a prize to the top 100 weekly winners. So.
Yes. So go to RMFantasySX.com if this is your first time watching the show. It's a free account. It is free to play. You can join groups, the RMFantasy SXperts group, all sorts of goodies on there. You can always see the weekly and the grand prize that are up for grabs.
And if we keep having weekends like that, you could be making points up quick if you're lucky enough. Don't forget to like the stream like Levi's got up there. And with the memes, we kind of just faded away from that. But the Discord, yes, that's where those memes get posted. Thank you for everybody participating in that.
Did you have the one, Levi, of Dave Chappelle?
Oh, that one was great.
I wanted to put it in the stream, but I wasn't sure if it was like appropriate enough.
What, he's got flour on his face?
Yeah,
he's baking cookies.
yeah.
Baking cookies.
Just flour, man.
Go to the Discord
Y'all got
and
any more
go
of those Kickstarters?
go to the meme submission because there are
Thank you
some
for
memes
that.
that are not appropriate to show on the show, but you guys will get a kick out of them. So go to the Discord and go check those out.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Detroit, dude, what are you gonna do?
Rock
Are you
City.
gonna?
You know what I'm not going to do?
Fix
You know what I'm not going to do?
What if you qualified by 2 seconds faster than anybody else?
That I'm putting him 2 spots lower than I would have. He's not getting higher than third from me for the rest of the season. Yeah,
again.
Somebody's got to make some fishing meme for
He
that. Mookie baiting up Sexton on a hook for me to bite on the fish, on the salmon.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Well, RMC be in Detroit. I don't know what RMC is. I will be in Seattle in a couple weeks.
Yeah, Chase will at least be there.
Forecast looking a little rainy.
Heck yeah.
Bring my rain jacket.
Surprise.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody who joined live. Again, big shout out to Josh Mosiman, who called in from Motocross Action Magazine.
Won't be the last time, that's for sure.
Yeah. And we'd love to hear you guys' feedback. Any questions you want us to ask, for the callers and all that stuff, always leave that down below. Remember, we're giving away those tickets to Seattle. So as soon as we're done here, go to the video, comment your podium. If you can make it, how many tickets you would need, and see if you are one of the lucky winners. We're giving away 20 tickets.
Good tickets, like I said.
Good tickets.
Yeah. If you know somebody that's never been to a Supercross, go through the effort. If you live in Seattle, let's make this happen, or close to Seattle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a cool experience. Anyway, that's all I got.
It's all you got?
That's all I can have.
That's all I got. We're about to pack up our bags and head to Mesquite to go do some riding for a gear shoot.
Well,
we're excited.
Riding, filming.
Hey, it's all we're
Anyway.
all there together. Hey,
Don't
everybody.
pick Sexton.
Don't pick Sexton, or do you?
Yep.
We'll see you next time.